Hello everyone, Crow here, and I've been tagged, I think I've been tagged by oheao, that's O-H-E-A-O, and he put a comment, now I can't even say, comment on my channel the other day saying, I'm looking at it right now, would you like to respond to our horrible games tag? Here are the questions. And then I was like, oh, did he do a horrible games tag? And I started looking in his channel, and I didn't see a horrible game tag. I don't know, maybe I missed it. Maybe it's a really old tag video, but I haven't seen anybody do this. But then again, I may have just missed it. Maybe it's really old. I don't know. But anyway, let's get started with it. First, and yeah, it's a horrible games tag. The questions are, number one, what is the worst game you have played? And it's not Pac-Man on the Atari 2600. In fact, I think that's kind of good. If you consider it's not really a Pac-Man game, if you consider it to be a Pac-Man clone, it's all right. If you think of it as a Pac-Man port, it's horrible. E.T. No, that's not the worst game I've ever played. Raiders of the Lost Ark, same thing. I can actually finish that. The worst game I have ever played, I consider to be Rise 2 Resurrection. And that is a sequel to Rise of the Robots. Now, I've never played Rise of the Robots, but that was on Genesis and Super Nintendo, I believe. Rise 2 Resurrection was on PlayStation, Saturn, and PC. And I played it, I rented it on the PlayStation, and I have to say it's one of the worst games I've ever played. Now, if I can find it, I have VHS footage that I have somewhere, and I'll put it, let me move over, I'll put it up here so you can kind of see what the game, if I can't find it, obviously there's nothing here, but the game, it's like a fighting game with robots, which almost sounds kind of cool, but when I was renting games, I was renting like a game a day, and I knew this game was going to be bad just by looking at the cover of it. That phrase may be a cliche, but I just did not get a good vibe from the game at all. And I start playing the game, and the controls were sluggish. Everything was horrible. It was like the moves were hard to do. I mean, like fireball, dragon punch movements, I guess. And and again, I haven't played this game in like 12 or 13 years, so maybe my perception of the game has gotten worse than the actual game. But by looking at the video footage, it just doesn't, like, long loading times for a PlayStation game. And like, I remember a computer doing a fatality or execution on me in the game, and the game actually had to stop and load the animation for the execution or the fatality type thing, and all that happened was my robot exploded. I don't understand this game. If I can find a copy of it again, I might buy it if it was really, really cheap, because I kind of like having some of these bad games. But that is one of the worst games I could think of. I mean, there are plenty of other bad games, but that one just that has stuck out in my mind for years as one of the worst I've ever played. So let me move on to question 2. Has there been a game that got massive praise that you thought sucked? And see, now that's a problem there's a problem with this question, because I don't think that way. Of course, there's been games that have gotten massive praise that I don't like or I don't care to play. But I'm thinking that if a game has gotten massive praise, everybody likes to play it, and I don't like it, well, then there's got to be a reason why it, like, I'll give you some examples. Hey, you! Pardon me, that was the cat eating something he should not have been eating. Bastard. Anyway. I just heard him over there going, nom, 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 nom. Anyway. Where was I? Yes. I'll give you an example of a game that is, I'll admit, is a good game, but I don't like. And basically, it's just like real-time strategy games, for example. I typically don't like those, like Command and Conquer and StarCraft. Now, I'm not going to say those games suck. Obviously, those games don't suck. I just don't like playing them. And I'll just leave it at that. And we'll move on to question 3. Has there been a game that most people thought sucked that you thought was good? And, yeah, actually, I was meant to pull this up before. But this game, Eat Lead, Return of Matt Hazard. Now, this game didn't get good reviews at all. I heard a lot of people not really liking this game. And I don't really play third-person shooters all that much. And I actually didn't even finish this game. I think I'm maybe somewhere between halfway and towards the end of it, and then I stopped playing it. But I like this game. And it's not, and it's funny because the reason I like the game is not so much for the gameplay, although I do kind of enjoy playing it. It's for the absurdity of the game. It's like Matt Hazard, the main character in this game, is a lot like Duke Nukem, where he starts out in, he has this whole false history behind him, where he started out as a 2D game, side-scrolling thing, and he kind of gradually increased into like a third-person shooter type game. He had like a whole bunch of spin-off series or whatever. And the whole plot of the game is that this company is making this new game with him, but they're actually trying to kill off the character. So they're like throwing into the game all these characters from past, other video game genres. Like, I know, I haven't actually seen it, but I know like Wolfenstein 2D-esque characters are in the game at some point. They had, characters from SOCOM. Not SOCOM, but SOCOM with water pistols. And it's really funny. He's like, those guys just have water pistols. He walks out there and gets sprayed and it actually hurts him. And so I thought the game was kind of unique in that aspect. I know where a lot of people wouldn't like the game, but it just, hit me just right in a certain way. You get to a certain point and you'll have cowboys and zombies and ninjas all after you at the same time. And actually, it's this part of the game I kind of stopped playing it because I got my ass kicked by ninja women, while these zombies were after me. And they kind of, I think the last point I played it at where I died was that they were behind me. And I didn't realize. I was too busy trying to shoot zombies in the head before I realized that ninja women were behind me kicking my ass. Anyway, that's the tag. I'm not going to tag anybody for a simple fact that I don't know who did the tag. If the tag is even out yet. He just, oheao, they just posted this in my channel comments. I thought it might be kind of interesting to answer. So, if you want to respond to this tag, go right ahead. I won't stop you. I can't stop you. What the hell am I saying? I'm just kind of in an awkward mood today, I guess. So I better stop now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Food courts of the future!